Alright, it seems like 2024 is the worst year to release any supercar or any hypercar, especially if it's replacing anything we consider to be legendary. Like, if you're replacing any legendary car in 2024, it's not going to be such like a good idea because all the cars we've got this year, like the Lamborghini Temerario, the McLaren W1, the 12 cylinder, and now the F80 has been receiving a lot of hate comments, and people have been saying like, yes, Ferrari has unveiled their new flagship super sports car to replace the LaFerrari, and it has landed, and it has already like started like getting hate comments from, I don't know if I should say it's the car community or not. Like, I don't know the type of people who are like hating on this car, including the journalists themselves. And they've been saying that this guy is a big disappointment. It's a disappointment. It's not like it's not going to be as good as the LaFerrari. But hear me out. I think this car might arguably be the best Ferrari ever made. And this car is like miles like far from being a disappointment. And in this video, I'm going to prove my point, because in this video is all you need to know about the all-new 2026 Ferrari F80. But before I start talking about anything, guys, I am Meno, and this is my YouTube channel. And in this channel, we'll talk cars and all things cars. So if you're interested, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Watch the video to the end, and if you like it, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. With that said, thank you for tuning in, and let's get the video started. I'm now starting off with the design, which is arguably like one of the biggest controversial topic about this car, like controversial aspect of this car, the design. Some people hate it, some people like it. And like, but the hate is more than like, from what I've seen so far, the hate is more than the likes. Like, people are just hating on this car for absolutely nothing. Like, for nothing. Why? Like, look at this beauty, brother. Like, look at this car and tell me why you are hating on this car. Like, how? Like, check this down. When I first saw this car was on the thumbnail, like, of a YouTube video from Top Gear. And the car I saw on the thumbnail, which was actually the F80, was fire. Like, this car was fine. This car was like all, like, it looks amazing. Like, it looked amazing. And I clicked on the video. And I've forgotten the guy's name, but his expression was like the brightest. Like, it wasn't like in the brightest mood talking about the car. I don't know if the car was like, it was as if he was disappointed. Then I entered the comment section, and I started seeing hate comment on hate comment, hate comment on hate comment. And at some point, it started like, it wanted to affect me. Like, I started like, the hate was trying to like influence the way I look at the car. Then I backed off a little bit. Looked at the car from my own perspective, like through the eyes I saw it at first in the thumbnail. And I was like, this car has done nothing wrong. This car, like, this car looks good. Like, what is everybody talking about? This car looks good. Like, even the journalists themselves are like disappointed. Like, how? Like, this guy is going to make a lot of people swallow their words, because when they start rolling out with different color combination, like different colors, like when I start like experimenting with different color combination, this guy is going to make a lot of people like swallow their words. And mind you, don't like, please, like, don't let anybody's hate get to you. If you look at, if a car is launched, look at it from your own perspective. Don't look at it from the perspective of others, because like, people are saying this guy is, I don't want to say the word, but they're saying this guy is rubbish, this guy is this and that. And this guy is clearly far from that. Like, how? Like, I know there are areas on the car that needs like that they could have done better, but the overall package is awesome. And let's look at it. Now, looking at the car, you can tell that the car sits really, really low to the ground. It's 190.6 inches long, 81 inches wide, and 44 inches tall. Slightly taller than the LaFerrari, but the suspension can go lower than that to make it shorter than the LaFerrari. Otherwise, in other areas, it's like, it's more bigger, like more, it has more dimension than the LaFerrari. At the front, it has a black pattern that runs across the front nose, similar to the one on the 12 cylinder, but the one on the 12 cylinder looks odd. Like, it does not go like in harmony with the overall design of the car, whereas this, like, it goes well with the overall package. It comes with a lot of aero elements and tunnels at the front end to channel air over and around the car. And The bonnet has an opening like an air stock that goes from the front end and comes out from the bonnet to channel air over the roof of the car. And the black pattern I mentioned earlier also houses the front headlamps on both ends, which are also flat like the ones on the 12 cylinder. It comes to the carbon fiber splitter, and the side panel or the fender is a lot flatter. Like, it's unusual. Like, Ferrari does not make cars with like sharp edge design, like those flat sharp edge designs. Like, they're more like company that makes car with like curves. They make like cars with curves and like flowing silhouettes rather than like sharp edge design. But they are incorporating the sharp edge design and the curves like really nicely here, and I really love it. And from the front you can really tell, like you can see the wide shoulder of the car and how narrow the cockpit is, and that's like all made for performance, which we'll get to later in the video. Now, coming onto the side, we get to see the front fender clearly, how it cuts off from the door panel, and it looks similar to the front fender of the Le Mans winning car, the 499P, and has air channels to channel air around the side of the car. And the doors is really sculptured in such a very nice way that's like they integrated the side skirts in this also unique way. Like, I really love the design and how they left that side bare carbon fiber and the door in red, and it flows really nice with the red part of the car with this nice curve. It looks really nice on the side though. And you can't talk about the side without including the amazing 5-spoke carbon fiber wheels, 20-inch at the front and 21-inch at the rear. At the back, it's pretty much squared up, and we get to see the massive rear wing, which is not as cool as the one on the W1, but it's still functional. It runs across the top end, and below it is the flat tail light, similar to the one on the 12 cylinder. And Ferrari is kind of like embracing this flat theme language design like on their cars, which on this looks really nice. At the middle, they placed the single exhaust tip, which was widened for gas flow and for design, and it features fans and outlet to release hot air out from the engine bay and also from the wheel chambers. And it has these massive diffusers. Like, if you look below, you see the massive diffuser that runs all the way from the middle of the car to the rear end, similar to the Bugatti Tourbillon, which also has a massive diffuser that runs from the middle of the car to the rear for maximum performance to reduce drag. Coming over to the interior is a little bit underwhelming. I'm going to say it's a downgrade from the LaFerrari. I thought it was going to look futuristic and refined like the interior of the W1, which was a massive upgrade over the P1. But this looks like the interior of the P1, but even worse. It's a massive downgrade from the interior of the LaFerrari, and I think they've done better with this interior. Now, you can tell it's drive focused on how everything is just like pointed towards the driver. It has a flat top, flat bottom steering wheel with actual buttons for vehicle controls and knobs for drive modes. And behind the steering wheel is the gauge cluster, a digital gauge cluster. And on the center console, it also has a mini touchscreen display for other vehicle functions. And below it, there's a drive selector. And the seats are built for comfort, and it feel like they are built for comfort if you want to take it for like rides around town, and it can be adjusted, but the passenger seat cannot be adjusted. It's fixed, and it's a lot narrower and positioned a little bit like backwards compared to the driver's seat, and they did that just to make the cockpit a lot narrower and smaller for maximum performance. Like, this is a track focused monster, like a track focused super sports car, and they did all this just to maximize performance, and it can be justified. And overall, this car looks really nice. Like, the overall package, the exterior design, this car looks really nice. Like, how can you hit on this car? Like, how can you hit on this car? How? Like, brother, how? Like, if I was a designer and I ended up with this as the final result, I'm going to be happy. Like, truly, I'm going to be happy. And this is going to like cement itself as one of the greatest Ferrari ever made. Like, mark my words, like in 10 years time, this will be like arguably the best Ferrari of all time. Like, no kidding. This guy has a lot of people to prove wrong. But till then, let's just move on. Forget about the design. Like, forget about the design, like the whole debate about the design. Let's talk about the powertrain, which is, according to people, the biggest disappointment about this car. The powertrain. You see, I said in my previous video that McLaren and Aston Martin were the only few companies that actually use Formula One tech in their road-going cars. But now, Ferrari has now joined the chat because the engine in this is based off of the V6 engine in the Formula One car and in the Le Mans winning car, the 499P. And it uses a twin-turbo 3-liter V6 engine that revs up to 9,200 RPM, the same as the twin-turbo V8 in the W1. And the engine alone produces 888 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. For context, that's more powerful than the 296 produces, even with the electric assistant. And this has the same engine as the 296, but the engine in this is more developed. It's developed more than the engine in the 296. It's only 98 horsepower less than the SF90. Like, the engine alone is just 98 horsepower less than the SF90, even with the electric assistant. And it's only 28 horsepower less than the twin-turbo V8 engine in the W1. And people are still hating on this engine. Why? Like, you see, I have a concept in my head to efficiently use like a small package to produce really like good performance. Like, use a car that produces only 500 horsepower to go from 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds. Like, to use to use engines in a very efficient way, because we live in a world where we think that bigger is better. Like, if you want to make a car that can go as fast as the Rimac Nevera, we need to make the D24 engine. Like, no, let's make like a small package produce really good performance. And this is what Ferrari is actually doing, right? Using a small package to produce really good performance, and people are still hating. The car uses a very clever turbo tech. Like, they put electric motors in the turbochargers to spool the turbochargers to provide boost to the engine, like to eliminate turbo lag from the get-go for ultimate performance. And it's also assisted by 3 electric motors, 2 mounted on the front wheels and 1 at the back assisting the engine. And altogether, the system makes 1,184 horsepower, giving it a power-to-weight ratio of 705 horsepower per ton. Not as good as the W1, but it's still a very high number. Like, 705 horsepower per ton, that's a lot. And the electric motors are powered by the 2.3 kilowatts hour battery pack with no electric only mode. Yes, no electric only mode, like the LaFerrari, in like the SF90 and the W1. And no complaint. Nobody's complaining. And the 2 electric motors at the front drive the front wheels, while the engine and 1 electric motor assisting it drives the rear wheels with an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. And that brings us onto the performance. And now, coming onto the performance, this car is really fast. This car is really quick. 0 to 60 in 2.15 seconds. 0 to 200 kilometers an hour in 5.75 seconds, with a maximum limited top speed of 217 miles an hour. Like, why are they limiting the cars to 217? Like, what? Like, why? Is it an agreement or something like they just do on their own? Like, why are they limiting it to 217 miles an hour? Like, is R1 just did 233 miles an hour, and this, like, a flagship super sports car crossing into the hypercar ramp can only do 217? Why? I don't know. Can someone just let me know why in the conversation down below? Because, like, I don't know. Straight line acceleration is nowhere this car prevails, just like the W1. It's track performance. And now let's talk about the trackability. Starting off with the aero package, you see the F80 comes with front and rear active system. At the front, it's like a slit that's underneath the car. It's like a split underneath the front of the car that, when closed, it allows air to go through the air duct, come out from the bonnet and goes over the roof of the car. Then when deployed, when it pops out, it channels air that goes like directly underneath the car and through the diffuser to the rear end, reducing drag. And also at the back, it features a rear active system, like the rear active wing, which can not only act as air brake, it can like angle itself to give the appropriate downforce and also reduce drag. It can angle itself at a certain angle to reduce drag as if it wasn't even there. And when fully deployed and in track mode, this can generate up to 1,050 kilograms of downforce at 155 miles an hour. Moving over to the battery tech, you see, just like the W1, the battery is just there solely for performance, and unlike the W1, does not have any electric only mode, making it even more dedicated to performance. The battery is just there just to assist the engine. And You see, it has this clever ability that when you're driving, like in Formula One, there are areas on the track they call the DRS zone where you can deploy as much power as you can, as you have, and switch on the DRS to make sure you gain the maximum top speed and also to finish the lap a lot faster. They're called DRS zones where power, like you can deploy as much power as you can. And this car can do that automatically for you. You see, this car detects those areas on the track, those zones in the track where power is needed the most. And when you're going through those areas, again, it depletes the battery a lot faster, giving you this very, very strong boost for maximum top speed and to make sure you finish the lap a lot faster if you're doing time trial or qualifying lap. And it's really, really fun to see these cars using Formula One tech. Like, it's really fun to see all this manufacturers using Formula One tech in their road going cars. And people who are actually taking this car to the track are the real ones. Like, those are the ones that actually know what this car is about. And going to the track is fun, like really, really fun. And now, the active suspension. You see, the F80 comes with really, really soft suspension for smooth sailing at low speed. But we all know that soft suspension is not ideal for track performance. It's not ideal for performance. That's why this car comes equipped with a 48-volt active suspension with electric motors that can stiffen the suspension to tank all the downforce that this car creates at high speed. And not only that, it makes sure that the car sits at a constant height relative to the ground to make sure that the aero package is working at the high level, is working at the peak level. And all these track features, did it actually work? Yes, it worked. Around the Fiorano test track, the F80 was a whole 4.4 seconds quicker than the LaFerrari. What that means is that this car will cross the line and it will take 4.4 seconds before the LaFerrari get to the finish line. This does not seem like a lot, but it's actually a lot. Now, coming over to the chassis, the F80 comes with a carbon fiber chassis coupled with aluminum components, and it comes with a wishbone suspension. And some of the suspension components were 3D printed to save weight. And at the end, the car only weighs 1,525 kilograms. That's a dry weight, mind you. And the brakes are co-developed with Brembo. They are CCM R Plus brakes with carbon ceramic brake rotors, and the wheels come equipped with Michelin Cup 2R tires. And now, finally, what is the price? What is the price of all these goodies we've been mentioning? Well, Ferrari said it will be going for, wait for it, $4 million. $4 million. This is one of those moments where you'd be like how? The W1 is 2.4 million now. How is this one 4 million? I know this is a really, really good car. How is it it's even less exclusive than the W1 because they're going to be making 799 units of this. Why? They're only going to be making 399 units of the W1. And this one costs $4 million. Well, it doesn't matter anyway because all 799 units of it is all sold out. So it doesn't matter if we complain or not because they're all sold out. It doesn't matter if it's 10 million, 11, it's all sold out. So no need to complain. But regardless of the price and everything everybody have been saying, this is a really, really nice car. A really, really nice super sports / hypercar. And see, don't let anyone's hate get to you. Don't let anybody's hate influence the way you look at this car because this is a really, really good car with a really, really good concept, making very efficient use of a small package to produce a very good performance. And they did it really, really nicely. And people are hating on this car for no reason. This is arguably one of the best looking Ferrari of all time. And in years to come, people are going to love this car so much. And people are going to call this car one of the greatest of all time of Ferrari. Especially when they get to drive it and experience the raw performance of this thing. And why is everybody hating on this car? I don't know the reason why. I don't know. I just don't know. But in my opinion, this is one of the best looking Ferrari of all time. And I think it's a very worthy replacement for the LaFerrari. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And so far so good. The new Holy Trinity is coming together nicely. Porsche is left, Hope they come up with a really nice car, nothing electric. And with that, we've come to the end of the video. If there's anything you think I missed out on the video, let me know. And if there's anything you want me to cover on the channel, let me know in the comment section down below. I want to do a video comparing this to the W1. So if you want to see that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and share the video with your friends or family if you think they're going to like it. With that said, thank you for tuning in and thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out and stay safe.